So, a few months back, I launched my first video in a series called Don't Sleep On, and I did it on the Darksiders franchise. I've done a couple since, and I wanted to focus. The ones that I did before were kind of more, had been out for a while kind of deal. But I wanted to focus on a game that came out relatively, not that long ago, back in October. And I know October was a packed month, so this one could have got overlooked by a lot of people. Also, it didn't review all that well. A lot of mixed reviews. I've seen eights, anywhere from like eights to fives. So depending on the player, the reviewer has different thoughts on it. But um, this one I've had my eye on since I seen that like the first trailer. Um, I love the actress. I'm forgetting her name right now, but she plays Yennefer on the Witcher Netflix show. So that was kind of what drew me to it, and the fact that it's like set in India, and my Indian heritage and everything, and it just looked really interesting. It's and also right now I wanted to kind of get this video out. It's just shorter length because I haven't beaten the game yet, so I'm not going to talk a lot about the story. Um, but with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into this. Unknown 9 Awakening takes place in the early 1900s. It starts in India, and you play as an Indian girl by the name of Haruna. And it's kind of a personal quest, globe-trotting affair. Where you visit different places. And what I think is cool about it is you go to some like lesser known places that have been explored in video games like Portugal and places like that. But Haruna she's called a quester, and she searches for like unique artifacts and stuff, kind of like a treasure hunter. But she was born with a special ability that I'm not certain if she's the only one that possesses these abilities, but in the story so far where I'm at, she seems to be like the only one. She can enter an alternate reality dimension, if you will, called the Fold, and she has different powers based off of the Fold. So it's like a sci-fi fantasy genre. Gameplay is kind of in the vein of like an Uncharted or God of War. Not comparing it to those like as quality wise, but the way you can explore. There's a lot of exploration. The combat is quick. It's fast. You have a lot of your basic your attacks are based off of your fold abilities, and the enemies are called the Ascendants, and they're kind of like a cult, secret society, if you will, that's trying to uncover artifacts that have been hidden for thousands of years. And you have your skill tree. It has three different categories: your Umbric abilities, which is the powers that you summon. You have your stealth abilities and your combat abilities. And it also features a pretty good villain, too, so far.
If your memory truly served you, you would not have presumed to involve yourself in my affairs, as you have. You would have known it could only end in destruction, and yet here you are.
Keeps his people content, cozy. But he's a selfish creature. If I know anything, there's a reserve stock with his name on it. 1868. Vincent, you bastard. Close calls.
So the gameplay is a mix of stealth and combat. And I would say the stealth is a little bit underutilized, I would say. As the game progresses, you get into more and more battles, which isn't bad because the combat is generally fun, and especially when you start unlocking more and more abilities. Now, the main difference in this game than your average kind of action adventure beat 'em up is that you have an ability called Step, where you can possess enemies and make them attack their own people, or set off traps and what have you. And there's quite a lot of enemy variety, and they all have their own different attacks and everything. So, once you kind of master that Step ability, you can do some really interesting things with it. You can wipe out like 4 to 5 enemies at one time. Later on, you get the ability to step to more than one person, so you can like string across things. And you also have this ability to kind of I forget what it's called, but it's kind of like your listen mode from like The Last of Us, right? Where you could see through walls. You could find there's a lot of collectibles in here. One thing that I thought was cool too is that if you get into combat, it's pretty easy to like get back into stealth. The AI isn't the smartest, but from what I understand, it's been improved since launch. That was one of the big complaints that I heard, from people at launch, is that the AI was completely stupid, but it seemed to be improved. It has some pretty like gorgeous visuals when it comes to the environments. I mean, this is India here. It looks really, really good. A lot of people having conversations, but it does lack in some of the, basically like the facial animations. Something's off about them. Like there's not really any expressions. That's one of the negatives of the game when it comes to like the graphics. Performance is kind of hit or miss. It doesn't have like an option where you can choose like performance or quality or whatever. It seems to be running at about like 40 to 45 frames. There are some noticeable dips at times. And I think that's due to, because I didn't realize this until I got the game, but it was on PS4 as well. And at this time, I don't know, like games of this nature, I don't think they should be released on PS4 this late, into the PS5's life cycle. But it is what it is. The game's still a great time. Graphics aren't everything. I've been having a lot of fun with it. The story is very intriguing, and without spoiling it, there's some moments that happen gameplay wise and story wise that like generally surprise me, and I had a lot of fun with. So once you master your Umbric abilities, like here, this is all within like 2 to 3 hours, but since I've done this video, I'm about 6 to 7 hours in, and I've gotten like a lot more abilities, such as the ability to block ricochet bullets off of your shield, and it'll just automatically hit like the nearest enemy by you. There's like a burst mode they have a meter, right? See, so you'll see it right here. The burst mode, you unleash a fury of attacks on someone, basically a one shot. It takes them out. You could also set traps and use the environment, like crushing this guy, which is really cool. A lot of strategy goes into the fights. You can, no fight. It's like the game gives you play styles, I think, and that's like its strongest suit when it comes to the gameplay. The performance and story is so far, I would say, way above average. The writing is good. It has a lovable cast of characters. You later in the game, about a quarter of the way through, you get this the Morning Star, which is a Zeppelin, like a large blimp, and it's your hub world. And every time you do a mission, you go back there, you can talk to your crew members, and it kind of gives you like Mass Effect vibes. You get their backstories, and things of that nature. So I thought that part of it was really cool, and you can unlock different areas of it, and it has a lot of secrets to find. So that's, my short take, my recommendation of Unknown 9. Also, it's on sale right now for half off, so it's $25 on the PSN store. And that offer expires January 6th. It's regularly $50. So if this video enticed you, made you interested in the game, or if it's one of those games you were waiting for a sale on, now's the time to grab it up. I highly recommend it. If you don't like it, you blame me, but I'm probably 3/4 of the way through right now, and I've been having a blast learning the story. And also, this is part of like a wider universe that they're planning to do more with, and I think they're doing like a live action show along with some graphic novels, and it's a very interesting universe to find out. There's a lot of lore that you can read about in the game and stuff. So if that's your thing, go ahead and pick it up and let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching, and subscriptions are always appreciated. Like, comment, subscribe. Applersky out.